We have with us today Jason Buck. Jason's with our Malaga Cove office. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, James.
Introduce yourself and tell us how long you've been in the business.
Wow, okay, my name's Jason Buck. I got my license in 1998, but I have lived in the same house since 1975.
Wow.
So I solely work Palos Verdes as I know that area, and that's where my friends, family, and all my clients come from.
So tell everyone, how do you get your business and what does that look like?
Last year was incredible. It was my best year ever, and I'm extremely grateful and actually really proud.
Congratulations, you knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, it was a good one. My business comes from a variety of methods. I do have a farm. I do solicit to that farm with mailers. I use our company graphics, and they've given me a great program to allow my marketing materials to go out on a timely manner. But I find that most of my clients come from open house, where I can actually meet someone face to face and have a conversation with them, and then they usually are impressed with either the knowledge or the understanding of the area or my ability to tell them what houses fit with what they're looking for, because I really do know the homes on the market, and then we proceed to getting some showings and moving forward.
You have a strong reputation in the real estate community, and you give back a lot of your time to both the Palos Verdes Association of Realtors, and you also teach a unique class. Why don't you tell everybody about that?
Yeah, so there's a class called the Palos Verdes Specialist. And because Palos Verdes has 4 unique cities with all sorts of different rules, restrictions, and ways of doing business, the Palos Verdes Board of Realtors created this opportunity for agents to learn more about their local area. We do a full day of the history, which I've teamed up with Monique Sugimoto from the Palos Verdes Library. She's a historian. She is a wealth of knowledge. I grew up here and I still learn stuff every time I do the class. And it's been a wonderful opportunity to share just how special PV is. We are really a unique community. There's nothing like it, and it has some really profound historical things that have happened. And just not to get into it too deep, but one of the, obviously there's Vanderlip, but he hired Frederick Law Olmsted Jr. This guy spent 7 years here planning Palos Verdes. When he left, he made Yosemite a national park. In my mind, that's not a small person, that's a big person, and they were so forward thinking. There's a ton of stuff involved in that class, and it's been really neat.
You're very passionate about teaching the history of the Palos Verdes for the PV specialist designation at the board. How has that helped your business?
Well, I'm known a bit as a history buff, although I am an open book when it comes to that. I think every person has their own connection with Palos Verdes. It's somewhat sacred in many aspects, and sharing those sacred locations or viewpoints, it tickles your emotions. It's a way to connect with people. And when you're able to, like the moonset, one of my most favorite stories was a client who was buying an ocean view home. And he was like, I really want this ocean view. And I said, well, look, the ocean view is one thing. But when you watch the moon sink into the ocean at night, and you can see the glistening over the water, it is the most incredible thing. You will be stunned. And I remember this vividly. After the home had sold, it was October. My client gets up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning and goes on walks. So he goes to bed early. It was 10:30 and I got a call. And of course, agents always think, oh man, the sewer's backed up or something broke or I don't know what. And he goes, Jason, are you watching this? And I'm like, what? What's wrong? What's wrong? He goes, the moonset, the moonset. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I'll never forget.
So you're an advocate for the Western bluebird.
Yeah. During the class, we had the Land Conservancy come in and talk about all the open land and why, they did dry farming in Palos Verdes, no irrigation. And how is that possible? Well, it's fog and it's also location. But he talked about this bird, the Western bluebird. It has blue wings and an auburn belly, and it's being overrun by the sparrow. The Western bluebird's indigenous, so it's our local bird, and the sparrow is coming over and taking over. I said, that's not right. And I figured out a way to make a bird box. And during COVID, I made about 100 bird boxes and distributed them throughout the hill. And I've gotten pictures of people showing their birds. It's really neat to have another way of promoting the habitat and the species that are around.
So the bluebird boxes went viral. What happened?
So the initial thought for the blue box bluebird box was to put it out there and make it a kit, a build kit. It's not that hard to put these things together.
Right.
But I cut all the pieces. I actually learned how to make it out of one fence post, but it's red oak because that deters termites and it's what the birds will accept. And then I have all my dimensions, and then I build it, and then I take it apart and I make a kit, and I have real simple instructions because the idea was to get kids to make this so that they could learn about the bird and then promote the proper habitat. And I posted it on Nextdoor, and it took off. I mean, during COVID, I was every night building bird boxes, which was great. I love the smell of the wood, and I don't mind working with my hands, but I made about 100 during that time.
That's fantastic. Did you use this as a marketing tool to promote your business?
Yes, I did. I have a sheet that I put with the box that has a little bit of a description about the bird, why this is important, and where to place the box. And then the other side is the instructions. And then there is my logo and my contact. I've been handing this out to past clients. I actually look up any of my old clients and use it as a way just to get in touch with them and ask them to place it in their yard. And any new clients, I kind of bring it up and discuss it. It allows me to talk about history. It allows me to talk about local characteristics. And then I present them with this thing that they're able to put together and build and be a part of preserving that bluebird, which is a native. I mean, to me, it's been a wonderful experience.
I love it. Another thing that you're into is music, and you have a big birthday coming up this weekend. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about your music, and you're playing not only this weekend, but you're playing for the upcoming Beach Life Festival in Redondo Beach.
So I've been in music since high school. I played my prom. It's always been a great release, but also I found later on that it was a great way to interact with people. When I first started my career, I had my separate life and then my work life. And then after working with Kevin Moen, I learned that, you don't have to live two separate lives. And that the more honest and straightforward you are, the more people recognize and appreciate that. And I've adopted that philosophy and have found even more meaningful conversations and relationships by doing that. And so music, I then embraced it and started, hey, look, I'm playing this gig and inviting people, and they end up usually being like, wow, I had no idea, which is kind of fun.
Another way to connect with people
Absolutely.
and turn friends into clients.
It's true.
What do you think separates you from other agents?
James, there's no one like me. Man, look, be real. Follow who it is, where your destiny is, where you want to be. And I actually work on this. Is it 22? Is it 24 years? I'm not sure. 2019 and 20 were not good years for me. In fact, I think 19 was my worst year ever. Going back into 21, which was my best year ever. And why? I dug deep within myself and got up every morning and talked about who I am and who I want to be and how am I going to handle some of these things that are coming at me, because they're coming at you. And then I'd ask for things that I needed to come to me.
Awesome.
And, look, I can't explain all that stuff, but I'll be happy to share with you if you want a conversation about it.
That's powerful. Thank you. You recently started a YouTube channel. Talk a little bit about that.
So in 2011, I had a client that wanted to buy a multi-million-dollar home, and I did not feel comfortable. He was overseas. And I said, man, are you sure you don't want to come out? He goes, I don't have time. So I said, all right, well, I'm going to send you a video. And that was a challenge in itself because it was China. But in any case, he got the video and he said, all right, we're making an offer. I said, okay, great. Do you want to come see it before you sign off? He goes, I watched the video 17 times. Do you want to sell me this house? And I said, yes, I do. So after that, I started shooting video pretty exclusively. I'm pretty much always with my camera. I think it's a great way to database homes. It's also a way for the public to hear my inflection, hear what I'm saying about these properties and why they're unique. And it's just been a great way of getting it out there. I will put a video up and overnight I'll have 100 hits. So
wow.
It's gotten to be big.
So you connect with the real estate community by donating your time to the association. You teach the PV specialist class. You play music. You have a YouTube channel. What are some of the other techniques you use to, besides open houses, to get clients?
You know, I work on the referral basis, and I keep the communication open with my clients. I'm pretty laid back about it. I feel that if they want information, they know how to get a hold of me, and I don't need to be pushing stuff down their throat. I think in this world there is so much attention to everything that just by posting and keeping my name out there and keeping active, they'll recognize it and it brings them to front of mind. And so that's what I do. I try and keep pushing into all these different avenues to make sure that I stay at top of mind.
Jason, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, James.
Good luck.